All right, welcome back to Getting Sober, again. My name is Jay, and today we're going to talk about 10 reasons to stay sober for the 4th of July holiday weekend. But first, if you care about your own sobriety journey as much as we do, we have hundreds of videos on the topics of sobriety and self-improvement, so make sure that you're subscribed to this channel. All right, let's get started. So first, let's ask the community, is this going to be your first sober 4th of July? And what are your plans for the upcoming holiday? Comment down below. So before we get to the list of 10 reasons, I know how much you love facts and statistics. So let's go over a few 4th of July stats, shall we? In 2024, 14,700 people were injured by fireworks, which was a 52% increase from 2023, when only 9,700 people were reported injured. Emphasis on reported. And yes, even basic sparklers caused 1,700 injuries. How about this statistic? An estimated 45,000 people visit United States emergency rooms on the 4th and the 5th for injuries, which is nearly double the daily average. So let's get into the list. From car accidents, fireworks, and binge drinking, we came up with a list of 10 reasons why not to drink during this upcoming holiday. Reason number 1 for staying sober on the 4th of July is the 4th of July happens to be the 4th highest drinking holiday in the United States. And of all of the highest drinking holidays, it's the second most binge drinking holiday by both men and women. It's estimated that over 70,000 people will be involved in non-fatal car accidents over the holiday, and over 600 people will die in motor vehicle accidents, which brings us to reason number 2 for staying sober on the 4th of July, and that is, according to National Safety Council estimates, during the Independence Day weekend period, 40% of fatalities involved an alcohol-impaired driver, which is one of the highest percentages among all major holidays. Reason number 3 for staying sober on the 4th of July is drive sober or get pulled over. Because the 4th of July weekend is so long, there'll be many more DUI checkpoints. And as we mentioned before, there'll be more intoxicated drivers on the road, so don't find yourself being one of them. Not so fun fact. Did you know that the average cost of a DUI in the United States is $11,000 and can be even as high as $25,000? Reason number 4 for staying sober on the 4th of July holiday weekend is be the designated driver. Now, what better way to spend time with friends and family and look out for their safety than by being the designated driver? Of course, there's probably no safer place to be other than in your own home or in your own backyard, but some of us, myself included, will be hitting the road to see the local fireworks displays. By the way, the 4th of July happens to be my mom's birthday, so don't forget to say happy birthday to Cat Mom. And for those of you out there that are newly sober, this might be the first time that you're going to expose yourself to people who are drinking. So that leads us to reason number 5 for staying sober on the 4th of July, and that is it's a great opportunity to practice what we lack in early sobriety, which is discipline and self-control. Along your sobriety journey, it's fundamental to your success that you learn to say no to alcohol. The Achilles heel for anyone who drinks is what? Free booze. And on top of that, we're always looking for any excuse to do what? Drink alcohol, like on a drinking holiday, right? And on top of that, taking this opportunity to practice self-control and to practice discipline, it'll be a great opportunity to gain perspective on how other people behave while intoxicated. They used to be you, remember? One of the fundamental keys to your success in the psychological aspect of your sobriety journey is to practice perspective, meaning stepping outside of yourself to take on other points of view. And what better way to see how poorly you used to behave than to watch other people getting drunk and disorderly? Reason number 6 for staying sober on the 4th of July is, on the long list of sober milestones, having a first sober 4th of July is one of the badges of sober honor. Along your sobriety journey, you'll have to complete many milestones. Your first 24 hours sober, your first 3 days sober, this is a huge one. Your first week sober, your first weekend sober. The first month, the first social gathering, the first birthday, first New Year's Eve, and the list goes on and on. Just like anything that we aren't good at yet, sobriety takes practice. And you already know what I'm about to say, right? Practice makes progress, that's right. Don't get mentally trapped in the mindset of perfection or nothing. Most sobriety journeys are imperfect, myself included. Sobriety isn't a one and done attempt. You don't need to worry about staying sober forever. You just need to stay sober today. Remember, it's easier to stay sober than it is to get sober. Reason number 7 for staying sober on the 4th of July is alcohol and fireworks are a bad combination. We already know that alcohol impairs our judgment, and just like drinking and driving is a bad combination, shooting off consumer fireworks and drinking any quantity of alcohol is absolutely a bad combination. Now keep in mind that even though it's a federal holiday, first responders and emergency services are going to be spread pretty thin with the higher volume of emergencies during the holiday weekend. That's because normal emergencies are still going to be happening, such as domestic disputes, theft, and violent crimes. But then if you add first, second, and third degree burns from fireworks, it may be more difficult to even find the treatment that you need if something bad were to happen. Now, reason number 8 for staying sober on the 4th of July is you have the opportunity to show your friends and your family that it's possible to have a good time without drinking. Going back to the long list of sober milestones, one of our duties becomes to set a great example for others. We always say that you only need to be a few steps ahead of somebody else to lead them in the right direction. Now, this doesn't mean preaching to others about your sobriety or telling them why they should also quit drinking. It simply means leading by example, to show your friends and family that it's possible to have a good time without consuming alcohol. Who knows? You could be the person who could help them to also cut back on their own alcohol use. When they're ready, of course. Reason number 9 for staying sober on the 4th of July is dehydration and hangovers are even worse in hot weather. When we combine hot weather and heavy drinking, your body temperature begins to rise faster. And so what happens? You start to sweat more, that's right. And it's true that sweat helps to cool the body, but then alcohol further dehydrates you because alcohol causes you to urinate and sweat more than usual. And lastly, reason number 10 for staying sober on the 4th of July is, can't the holidays be enough? Can't the activities be enough? Can't firing up the grill, swimming in the pool, going to the lake, or heading out on a boat trip be enough? Can't rest and relaxation be enough? When we become aware of how alcohol rewired our brains, we become more aware of the fact that we stopped enjoying activities unless we had alcohol to go with them. The slippery slope of alcohol is that alcohol gives us pleasure in the short term, but delays our true long-term happiness. And then sooner or later, we're drinking after work, we're drinking with dinner, we're drinking before bed, and then all weekend long. We're drinking at every social gathering, when we see our friends, when we see our families, because it was a good day, because it was a bad day, or just because we're bored. So I'll ask again, can't the time with your friends and family be enough? Can't your home that you've decorated and made your palace of comfort be enough? Can't the beach be enough? Can't entertainment be enough? And I know that for those of you in early sobriety, you're not used to sobriety yet, so I'm just going to remind you that it's going to take some practice. And we all have to put in the practice and be patient with ourselves while we start to see these new changes in this new life that we're choosing for who? For ourselves. But remember, when we get sober for ourselves, who else gets to benefit from it? Everyone else around us, that's right. And for those of you who are having a hard time with summertime alcohol cravings, check out the video that we put out last week, which is 5 tips for surviving summer sober. So, if you didn't answer before, what are your plans for the 4th of July holiday? Are you going out? Are you staying in? Are you from a different country, so none of this applies to you? And what's gonna be different this year than what you've typically done every previous year? Tell everybody your thoughts by leaving us a comment in the comment section down below. And if you haven't yet, don't forget to show your support for everybody here in this sobriety community by giving this video a thumbs up. But if you're ready to binge watch another one of our helpful videos, go ahead and click on the link in the top corner of the screen. And with that, I wanna wish you good luck on your self-improvement journey, and I will see you in the next video. If you want to see another one of our videos, click here.